Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, once again, Newt's Too Good, here to talk about 5 more improvements we could really use in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, because Capital Games has done a great job in the last couple of years, I would say, of bringing us a lot of really big improvements to the game. New territory battles. They've gotten, just recently these upgrades for free-to-play to get to level 85 now in a month, basically. All of the Lightspeed bundles, a lot of catch-up mechanics are being added to the game. Even the ability, I just finished Jabba in a year with the new guild activity store. A lot of big changes in the last couple of years that have really added to the game. And yeah, they broke the game about 25 times. I get it. Fix your game. I get it. Whatever. But let's talk about just 5 more improvements I think could really add a lot to the game. And number 1, we're going to start right here with Bronziums. About once every 2 weeks, I work for the man. I go to my job for the man, and I get my phone out, and I get my auto clicker up, and I run through Bronziums. And it runs and runs and runs and runs, and it finally finishes. For a while, it would actually click on some of these characters every now and then. I had to kind of correct it. Then I got a little bit tighter where it doesn't do that anymore. Can we please just make Bronziums like auto-clickable, openable? Can we just do that? Can we just say when you reach at least 100,000 of these ally points, you could just auto-open 100,000 at a time of Bronziums? Because it's the only way to really spend Bronziums that are of value in the game. And yeah, I know, Capital Games, I know you like to trick people. This does bother me. So I know you like to trick people with this garbage right here. Look, 5,000 ally points for 2 of these. I have 4,000 of those. 4,000 of those. You have 14,000 ally points for 5 Carbantes. I could get like 20 or 25 Carbantes minimum with 14,000 ally points when I do the Bronziums. Can we please dump this stuff and stop playing with us this way? I mean, honestly, this, aside from requiring somebody to spend on the side, this can't be like a big financial, this cannot be some kind of giant financial bonanza for Capital Games to be forcing someone, like when someone actually does something dumb and maybe they're ignorant, maybe you're starting the game, you're ignorant of what this is and the value, that there is no value here at all, and you're buying this stuff with ally points. Can we please remove the facade and just every 100,000 ally points that you get, you can just auto open all the Bronziums at once. Let's add that to the game, please, for the love of God. There's the first improvement we can make to the game. And coming in at number 2 is going to be this guy, Wat Tambor. A lot of people are punching up with their guilds early on, getting into a Rise of the Empire Territory Battles guild. Can we please make Wat Tambor available somewhere? Somewhere besides Darkside Territory Battles. I know you want to push people towards farming geos and getting in that Darkside Territory Battles and getting Wat Tambor, but you're really holding people back from Jedi Master Kenobi. A lot of people, Capital Games, I think you're aware of this, a lot of people coming into the game want to farm Jedi Master Kenobi because he is their guy. He's the guy they want to get, and then they realize, unfortunately, man, I didn't get any Wat Tambor shards, or I wasn't really focused on that early on. You've even got Kiadi Mundi available for Mark III currency, which isn't great. We please find somewhere. We got Rolo, Rebel Officer Leia Organa is available, and Wampa. These guys from basically, is ProDroid available? ProDroid's not available for anywhere but Lightside Territory Battles. But no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can get ProDroid. You get ProDroid with the Mark II raid currency and the Get to currency. There's a lot of places to get every single territory battle character, aside from Rote. I get they're not there, but every single territory battle character is available in other places except Wat Tambor. And people, I see it on a weekly basis, reviewing rosters. There are people that are trying to farm Jedi Master Kenobi, and they're newish to the game, and they don't have any Wat Tambor shards. They didn't realize all the steps involved. Like, they're looking like, oh, Jedi Master Kenobi, I can go get him. There's all these characters available. There's Wat Tambor. They just see the list of characters, 15 characters. Wat Tambor's there. They don't go and do all the research, to find out exactly what they got to do to farm Wat Tambor. In the meantime, they got all these other characters farmed and geared and everything else, and they never got any Wat Tambor shards. Can we please make him available with currency somewhere in the game? so that people can farm Jedi Master Kenobi early on in the game. You know, at Wat Tambor, by the way, I've got him here at gear 9, and I've got his Zeta added, so he's a nice little piece for me on my Nooch 2 Lightspeed account. Anyway, let's make Wat Tambor more readily available in some other aspect of the game. Please, can we do that? Coming up next is Territory Wars, and man, is this a game mode in need of an overhaul. You know, Territory Wars is, and by the way, this is me over here talking about Territory Wars. This is my Territory Wars beginner's guide over there, so I thought I'd just run this up there as easy Territory Wars footage. But this game mode has not changed since it was released in, I don't know, 2017, 2018, very early on in the game, maybe 2016. Territory Wars was released very early on in the game, and aside from some rewards restructuring along the way, Territory Wars is exactly the same as it's always been. And we had some of our top guilds in the game that actually, that's somewhere around a year, not quite a year ago, but, you know, boycotted Territory Wars for a while because it's so involved for them. It took up so much time for them. They were exhausted playing it, and I think they're back playing it now, but they just took a time off of Territory Wars. We need a revamp here, and I know people have mentioned stuff like something similar to Marvel Strike Force, where you all feel each player gets like a little node of their own, and you put your teams out there, and each player can go in and fight and battle back and forth. There's just, I don't know exactly what it would be, but we need some big revamp of guild versus guild Territory Wars. It's I mean, quite honestly, at this point of the game, it's just a little stale. It's been around for, again, I don't know how, but I don't know exactly what to say for how to revamp it, but man, we are way overdue. We got territory battles, we got new territory battles, and we got another new we've had territory battles updated 3 or 4 times, actually. We went from the Hoth, light side Hoth to light and dark side Hoth, and we went from dark side Geo to light side Geo, then Rise of the Empire now, and Rise of the Empire is, you know, they can keep adjusting it as they go, but Territory Wars is in bad need of some upgrades and just a complete revamp. Please give us something new in Territory Wars. The 4th revamp we need is Grand Arena Matchmaking. Now, I actually showed earlier this week how my first round of Grand Arena actually has some pretty good matches in here. And I have noticed that. I noticed it last time too with my Java account. The last couple, 2 or 3 free-to-play accounts I've done, I did 2 last year and 1 I started this year. The first round of Grand Arena is actually a pretty fair matchup. You're getting accounts and you know, you're getting people that you can beat and play against. But then as soon as that first round is done, you start getting dropped into Grand Arena matches against people with Galactic Legends, multiple Galactic Legends, people that have been out of it for a while, people that have dropped in and dropped out. Sometimes they play, sometimes they don't. I don't know exactly, you know, what happens here, but it's just, it is emotionally debilitating. It is a soul crusher for a free-to-play player, or even just an early gamer, somebody who bought the. I mean, I'm playing against a bunch of Hyperdrive bundle players here that, you know, are still at a pretty even level with me here at the beginning of the game. But it is bone crushing to enter a round of Grand Arena, and you've got your roster sitting there at you know, whatever. I've got some 5 and 7 star characters. I'm at 510,000 galactic power, and you look at your opponent, and they're at like 4 million galactic power with 2 galactic legends, and whether they, even if they don't play and you go out and just make an attempt, you get your 10 points, you can't beat anything they got, and you get a win out of it, it's not fun. There's no fun to that. And, you know, you're going to do it because you're committed to the game, and I'm actually going to be tracking this really closely on my Lord Vader account. How many accounts are we running into along the way that are big giant accounts that either don't play or just let you win, whatever? We're going to be tracking this really closely as we go forward here to see how it looks for the early game and new players. But there's got to be something changed about it. I mean, if somebody's not going to play, and like they're going to enter Grand Arena and not play or not make the effort, there's got to be some kind of separate bracket for those players, and they've got to suffer with their rewards. Like, they should get less rewards. You've got to disincentivize people for joining Grand Arena and not playing, and their roster dropping all the way down to Carbonite or Carbonite, Bronzium, you know, whatever. There's got to be some disincentive for people not to do that, because it is, I said it all right. It is rough. It's frustrating. It makes you feel like, what am I even doing here? Why am I even struggling to build up my roster if you're going to pit me in matches against these gigantic rosters? And I know they don't want to go back to the old system where each season you climbed, but there's got to be some kind of separate bracket available for inactive players or players that are just not trying to perform to the level of their roster. And then every now and then they come in and just crush some, every now and then a 4 million player just absolutely blows away somebody at 500,000 galactic power. And it just feels so bad and not fun. And it makes you just not enjoy. It is a very unenjoyable experience and a negative experience for a lot of early game players. So please fix the Grand Arena matchups. That's something that needs to be done. And finally, the last thing I'm going to mention, and I don't think they're going to do this anytime soon. Compared to the number of characters in the game, there are so few ships in the game, but boy, wouldn't ship double drops be a nice thing? Or even like a 1.5 times, speed up the drop rate on them so we can start farm them in 4.5 months instead of 6 months. It is painful, especially like you get on one of these nodes here we got Kylo and we've got the TIE Silencer on the same node. You farm Kylo up to 7 stars and your TIE Silencer is only 5 stars. And you realize, I would have to farm this for another 3 months to get my TIE Silencer to 6 stars. And it's just, again, it's just kind of an emotionally debilitating type of thing. And I get it. There are, I even counted the ships. There's probably a quarter or 1/5 the number of ships in the game that there are characters in the game, and I probably should have added it before I came on, but it's many less. Somebody tell me in comments how many ships are in the game versus how many characters. It's at least 1/5 is going to be the ratio. So you don't really want to make it easy. It just, and I know you've kind of sped it up a little bit for some of these ships with the free-to-play stuff you're giving out here, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, gives people an incentive not to buy that hyperdrive bundle until you get, already to level 85, so that's interesting to me, but, I don't know. Is there a way we can speed up some of the ship farming to make it less, again, soul-crushing, debilitating, frustrating? I've seen lots of rosters where people are ready to go get Sith Eternal Emperor, or they're ready to go get the Executor, and oops, they forgot the TIE Bomber, or they're ready for Kylo, and oops, they forgot Kylo's shuttle. Can we just find a way to make the ship farming a little bit better across the board? I don't know if they're not going to do double shard ship farming. I get that, but I don't know, 1.5 times, or I don't know. It's tough to measure, and again, with all the giveaways of all the ships, it's probably going to make a good dent in some people's farming, especially with the TIE Bomber there. It's so many people go for Executor. To get the TIE Bomber early at 4 stars is a big gift to a lot of people, but it's still, when you got to farm a ship, it feels like it's so far off and feels like it's just such a heavy time investment for folks. Let's find a way to make that a little bit easier for people. But there's my 5 improvements. You can call them quality life improvements. I don't know what you want to call them. I've never really understood. I get the basic quality life improvements, like make the Bronziums clickable for 100,000 of them. Boom, once you're done with it. Other stuff we call quality of life. I don't know if it's quality of life or just quality of game or just quality of gameplay to make the game better. But there are 5 more improvements we can make for the game, for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, to make it better for the players, better for the community, better for Capital Games. I promise you people would like the game even more if you did this kind of stuff, and people would come back to the game in some cases. A lot of people would come back to the game already with the changes you made. Keep the changes coming so more and more people come back and enjoy the game. And there you go. There's my 5 more changes Capital Games could make to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes to make it an even better experience for everyone. I hope everybody has a great day. I will talk to you soon, and always remember, Nooch too good.